What's up, sports bettors? College football lines are on the move. You can see Louisville on DraftKings Sportsbook just moved from minus 110 to minus 120 on the odds jam screen. So I'm following the line movements, hunting for value, and the next bet I found is for the Jayhawks Razorbacks game. You know, I say this all the time, but as a sharp sports bettor, you're like an investor. You're looking for value in the market. You never know when the best bets are going to occur. You know, if weather changes, if sharp action comes in, if lineups change, if injuries happen, like this market is dynamic. A lot of people think, you know, the odds never change. That's completely not true, and any sophisticated sports bettor knows that. I mean, we literally just saw, you know, Louisville move from minus 110 to minus 120 on DraftKings 2 minutes ago. So lines are always moving, and as a sharp bettor, we're following these market movements, looking for value. You know, in the same way a day trader or an investor uses a Bloomberg terminal, you know, you can use OddsJam. It's free to browse odds on OddsJam for any sport to try to hunt for value in the market. You know, like, value is all that matters. So many people, they try to bring sports into sports betting. And the truth is, these sports books, right, they've invested hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more, into their ability to set lines, to create odds. And also, you probably have at least 10 million people betting on college football bowl games. So if you're just randomly placing bets, you know, if you're just like, oh, I know for a fact Louisville's going to win, I'm going to bet them, you know, minus 120 on DraftKings, you're not even line shopping. It's like, well, why are you smarter than the 10 million other people placing bets on college football in the sports books that have invested hundreds of millions of dollars into their, you know, line setting capability? Why are you smarter? This is a market, you know, just like the price of GameStop is based on supply and demand in the market. You know, the price of Louisville is based on supply and demand on the sports books. If a bunch of action comes in on Louisville, lines move towards Louisville, right? And this market's always moving around. So long story short, we always want to look for value. You never know when the value is going to occur. Sometimes it's after player injuries, lineup changes. So like, you know, this Patrick Williams bet popped up yesterday on Caesars. It was really good, you know, over 15.5 PRAs. We hit it, it won. This bet on Cameron Payne lost. We're not going to win every bet, but as a sharp bettor, we want as many plays as possible with an edge. So if you take a peek, probably the first thing you'll notice is like, wow, there are some differences in where the total's being set. You know, Bet Online, a pretty sharp offshore sports book, they have the total, the over-under set at 69.5. A lot of sports books have it at 69, 68.5. So there's disagreements in the market. And this is why sports betting is so fascinating, right? All of these sports books, they set lines independently. They try to be unique. They try to do it themselves. You know, nobody copies each other's odds for the most part. It's not completely the case. But essentially, you know, we have a pretty good sense that, okay, the total should be somewhere from 68 to 69.5. But it's not super clear looking at this. Where's the value? Is it on the under on Bet Online because they're way too high? Is it on the over on Bet Rivers because they're way too low? Or is there no value? You know, that's essentially how we're looking at this market data as a sports bettor. But what you will notice is like, hey, Arkansas minus 2.5 is the spread on Caesars. Every other sports book, literally in the market, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So PointsBet has different odds for different states, so we show you them all. But there's like, you know, probably 20 sports books or so, if we continue to scroll over, that are all setting the spread at plus or minus 3, right? And granted, there's some that have it slightly juiced in one direction or the other, but for the most part, every book has the spread at 3, except for Caesars. They're at 2.5. Right? So 3 is a huge number in football, you know. Like, there's not a ton of money line juice. Arkansas is obviously favored. You always want to get the best odds. But, like, minus 2.5 versus betting Arkansas at minus 3 is a massive difference, right? If you bet Arkansas minus 2.5 and they win by a field goal, 3 points, you win. Everyone else pushes. Right? So most sports books are offering this half a point worse around a key number in football, right? They're offering minus 3 at minus 110 odds, but we were able to pick up value using the EV tool and get a profitable play, a bet with an edge, right? Lines have been moving towards Arkansas. Caesar Sportsbook, asleep at the wheel, still offering the minus 2.5 at minus 110 odds. So I locked it in, long story short. Really clear value, right? You can see Pinnacle, they offer these alternate lines. They have it at minus 128, my bookie minus 136. So we were able to find value, and that's the play I ended up locking in. As you can see right here for $1,500. $1,500, minus 110 odds. I added this to my sheet where I'm tracking profit and loss. So this is how you should think about sports betting. We hit this for $1,500. Our bet has a 1.43% edge or profit margin. So this bet, in Portfolio Alex, my portfolio of sharp, mathematically profitable bets, I'm literally forming my own hedge fund of profitable plays, is 1.43% times 1,500 is 21.45. My bet is worth 21.45 in profit margin. So if you tried to give me a $10 bill for my bet on Arkansas minus 2.5 and minus 110 odds, I tell you to screw off. My bet's worth 21.45. And slow and steady really wins the race. Like a 1.43% profit margin may seem small, and it's not super big given this game is 16 days away. But again, I want to have a bet on every bowl game. But you can imagine for the NBA, right, for MLB, for college basketball, usually the games are that week or typically almost always that day or the next day. So a 1.5% profit margin on a daily basis is, 45% every month, which is why OddsJam, if you look anywhere, makes a lot of people a lot of money once they understand the math, is these edges or these profit margins, they compound every day, right? People talk about investing in the stock market and it goes up, 8% a year on average. Okay, cool. Imagine earning 1.43% in a day. Right? It's pretty insane. And this is just one of the plays I ended up locking in that we have really high confidence in that it's really profitable. Like literally every sportsbook in the market is telling us this should be at 3. So you have to be crazy not to want to bet minus 2.5 around such a key number. So I locked it in. We're not going to win every bet as a sports bettor, but this play has an edge. I mean, you'll notice I have tons of bets. Not every bet's a winner. Lost $4,500 here on San Diego money line. Thanks, San Diego. Of course, they win the first half money line, and then I lose this leg in the parlay. Frickin' annoying. But regardless, you get the point. We're not going to win every bet. We're not going to win every day. But when we're placing plays with an edge, we're going to make money in the long run. And what OddsJam does is it just takes all this frickin' data in the market. I mean, there's literally so much data in the market. Millions of odds are updating on OddsJam every second. When you think about all the different markets, all the player props you can bet on, all the different sports, is all OddsJam's doing is it's trying to make that data actionable. How do you know what to bet, right? There's a million frickin' odds. They're always moving around. We saw lines were moving a bit earlier for college football games, weeks away. Market's dynamic. It's always moving. How do you find sharp bets? So what OddsJam does is it just this EV tool will just ruthlessly compare the lines between every sportsbook and point out the most profitable plays, the plays with value. And it's fully customizable. You can look for specific dates, for specific sports books, whatever. And yeah, let's make some money, guys.